Hey Flower Tribe, it's Kelly Lehman from Cranberry Fields Flower Farm, and today I want to show you how we built out this beautiful dahlia arrangement. If we haven't met yet, it's nice to meet you. Please feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the bell notification so you know whenever I post another fun free flower tip video. So let's dive right in. So we wanted to show you how we built out this beautiful dahlia arrangement today. And the reason why I love this arrangement so much is because, well, number one, I love dahlias and they're just like amazing flowers to build arrangements from. But the second reason I love this arrangement so much is because we just used most of the greens that had to be kind of cut back from a lot of my ivy bushes and some of my plants because they were getting overgrown at this time of year. So instead of throwing out all of these branches that I had to kind of trim back, I wound up turning them into this magnificent arrangement by just adding some of these spectacular dahlias and some of these dried hydrangeas from my endless summer hydrangea bush. So we're going to show you exactly how we built this out, and let's dive right in. Check out some of these greens that I have on this table here. We've got some beautiful ivy, and I love how ivy this time of year starts to go to seed. So you have these beautiful little round, it almost looks like a Dr. Seuss like satellite flower. So these are really beautiful to add to interest to some of your arrangements. And then we've got some curly willow branches here, and you don't have to have these exact branches growing at your house. You can just have similar ones, but I'm kind of looking for some branches that are kind of long and romantic. I'm looking for other branches that kind of have like this stiff feature. So some are stiff, some are a little bit floppy. Some of the branches that we chose have berries on them. So this time of year is a great time to check out some berries that are coming up on your property. And that's just going to add a lot of beautiful, gorgeous interest to the arrangement. And then we've just got some basic leaves that came from like burning bush, because at this time of year, the burning bush plant is turning kind of red, so you've got those beautiful red accents. And then we've just got some regular plants, some leaves that we just got from like regular trees. I think this might be an oak tree. So we just kind of like cut as much as we can, and then we're gonna show you how we added our beautiful dahlias to it. So we started off by choosing a really pretty vessel. So this is what the vessel looks like here. This is actually a phony stone vessel. I think I got this in either Michael's or AC Moore's. It's a very lightweight faux planter. We're going to add some fresh Oasis foam to it that we had to soak first. So this is what the Oasis foam looks like. And if you're going to buy floral foam, make sure that you buy it for fresh flowers, because there's also a floral foam that is for dried flowers, and you don't want that one. So what we did was we kind of soaked it in a bucket of water. A lot of these are like instant, so they kind of soak, they go down super fast. We got it nice and moist. And now we're just gonna kind of shave it to fit this little container that we have in here. So we're gonna put our planter in this container. We kind of stuffed a little bit of plastic bags in here to kind of, raise it up, because this container fits right in, but we didn't want it to drop down. So we kind of just stuffed it with some plastic bags to kind of give it some height. And this way we don't have to use like 5 or 6 blocks of Oasis foam, because that bag's kind of taking up that real estate. So we've got this little container. Once again, you can kind of find those at like dollar stores or AC Moore or Michael's. And we're just gonna kind of put them on top of each other. We shaved the block a bit, cut off the edges. Pop it right in here. And now we're ready to go. We're actually going to add just a little bit of water, because as this brick dries out, we want to give it like a little bit of a reservoir to kind of draw from, so that these flowers stay fresher longer. So we're just going to add a little bit of extra water to this arrangement, just in that little base. And this Oasis foam will continue to draw from that and keep our stems nice and moist. So we're going to start off by building out like the greens. We're going to go around the base of the planter with some of the fresh greens and kind of build out the shape that we want. We're going to see how long we want it to be. And we're going to make this kind of like a wild look. I'm not going to make it symmetrical. It's not going to be like perfectly balanced on both sides. I want it to look more like nature. And nature just has some beautiful wild shapes and some wild angles. So that's kind of like the look that we're going for. We're making sure to strip off all the leaves on the bottom of these stems so that they get inserted into the Oasis a little easier. So notice how there's no leaves on the bottom of those. I'm going to strip these off. I'll show you again over here. They get stripped off and then placed right into that Oasis foam. And we're kind of holding it like a pen. Now we're going to add some Endless Summer hydrangea that is semi-dried out. Now hydrangea usually don't like being placed in the floral foam, but since this bloom is semi-dried out already, it's not a big deal, because sometimes if they're too fresh and you put them in that floral foam, sometimes they'll flop prematurely. But this gal's going to do great. You can kind of tell the petals feel kind of papery. So she's going to dry out beautifully in that Oasis foam. This one's got more of that beautiful antique-y blue look. And we're just kind of getting rid of some of the little blossoms that might have been a little bit brown. I love using these Japanese maple branches because they give it like this huge contrast with this bright pop of red. We're going to add a little more of this Japanese maple just to give it that red pop again, because I really like the way that came out. And it's also going to give it a little bit of height in the background. Nice. Now we're going to add our Primo Dahlias, because these are the stars of the show. And I wanted to thank DutchBulbs.com because they sponsored this video. They sent me beautiful dahlias this season, and we just absolutely love them. Now some of these dahlia stems are super, super thick, so I'm going to show you with the next flower how we cut them so that they fit into the Oasis without making too large of a hole. So we're going to kind of give it like a spear cut on the bottom. We're kind of going to make it almost like a pointy version. So notice how we just cut it up on a diagonal. So now it's almost like a point. And that's just going to fit into the Oasis a little bit easier instead of having like a circle on the bottom. Oh, I like it. Sometimes more is more. I wanted to show you what the back of this arrangement is going to look like. Now, the place that I have in mind for this, no one's really going to see the back, and this is kind of like the beauty of not having to worry about doing a fully seen arrangement. You can just kind of plug in some greens to the back to kind of fill in the gaps. And no one's really going to see it, so I'm not too worried about, using some beautiful flowers or futzing too much over it. So I'm just kind of plugging in to kind of hide that Oasis brick, just in case anybody like walks in back of it or, they see the back of it. So just a couple greens, and that usually does the trick for the back. Just enough to kind of hide your mechanics. And it's easiest just to use like a big chunky branch like that instead of doing like a whole bunch of little ones. And that's it. Okay, we're done. Absolutely beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Let me give you a close-up. Loving these dahlia flowers. I wanted to give one more thank you to DutchBulbs.com. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video and for sending me your amazing dahlias. And guys, I want you to know that although this time of year I'm harvesting a lot of my beautiful dahlias, I'm also thinking of the fall bulbs that I want to plant soon that will give me spring flowers like double daffodils and alliums and tulips, and I get my bulbs from DutchBulbs.com. They have an amazing selection of fall planted bulbs that will give you amazing spring flowers. So I'll put a link to their company in descriptions below, and check them out. I think you're really going to like them. Thank you so much for joining me in this video, and please feel free to say hi to us over on my Kelly Lehman's Flower Tribe Facebook group, because there are gardeners from all over the world and they're asking and answering amazing questions there each week and posting pictures from their own beautiful gardens. And please also say hi to us over on my Cranberry Fields Instagram page, and we're on TikTok now, so you can check us out at Kelly Lehman's Flowers on TikTok. And I will see you in the next video.